Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. With the divine grace of Sri Sri Yadugiri Yathiraja Jiyar Swami, I feel immense gratitude to have been presented the opportunity to talk about the Gita and its relevance and relatability in today's world. In the last episode, we answered the question of how is action important even though knowledge reigns supreme. Krishna explains to Arjuna that Nahi kastit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma karta, and he says that it is not possible to sit idle even for a moment without doing action because it is a very nature of human. Therefore, Krishna says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam, karma jyayo hyakarmanaha. Therefore, instead of running from the action, we must learn how to perform the action in the right way. We also related to how the action of performing war to Arjuna can be reiterated or re-understood as how our question of chanting Gita as an action can be. We answered this question in the last episode. In today's episode, we shall understand the importance of having peace while doing action. How do we find peace while doing the action? This is a question we shall answer in today's episode. Let us start with this shloka. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. In this shloka, Krishna explains that it is important to know how to perform the action and the difference between action and inaction. The difference between action and inaction is separate when we combine it. What am I saying? When we try to explain this more, we shall understand this concept. Krishna says that karmanyah karmayah pashet, akarmanicha karmayah, sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktah kritsna karmakarta. Krishna says that when a man is wise enough to see action in inaction and inaction in action, he shall attain mental peace. So even though it is separate, Krishna says that the combination of this knowledge is what gives mental peace. How can we understand this? Let us take a simple example. We all know the shloka, karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbu ma te sangotsva karmani. In this shloka, Krishna explains that we have the right only to perform the action and we do not have any right over the fruit of the action. This is the karma siddhanta. We shall now apply this philosophy to this shloka, that is, seeing action in inaction and inaction in action. How do we do this? Let us take a scenario. For example, we are doing an action. Now, as a human, we are the doer. But let us take the idea of the karma siddhanta, that is, we don't have any right over the fruit. When we keep repeating ourselves this thought that we are not the bearer of the fruit or we do not own the fruit of the action, it is not in our hands. We keep repeating this knowledge. In that sense, our mind becomes still from the inside. That is, at our mind level, we have surrendered the fruit of the action and we are not doing any action. We are seeing that God is the doer and God is the giver of the fruit of the actions. So, at the mental level, our mind is calm and still. In that sense, we are the non-doer, but outwardly, we are doing the action. So, we are the doer. So, when we understand this thought, this is what Krishna wants us to understand. That is, seeing that action is in inaction and inaction is in action. Now that we know that the fruit is not in our hands and God is the giver of the fruit, at the mental level, we are still and calm. This will give us peace and we are doing the action as our duty and which helps the other people. So, in both ways, we are giving peace to the others by doing our duty and we are giving peace to ourselves by reminding ourselves about the karma siddhanta that the fruit is not in our hands. So, karmanyah karmayah pashet, akarmanicha karmayah, sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktah kritsna karmat. Well, if we understand this, we shall be able to do our duty. We will be able to discharge our duty effectively while still having mental peace from the inside. But is this idea really feasible? Will this work? Is it easy? Lot of question arises. Who has done this? Who can we take as an example? And how can we put this into our life? Well, we must have all heard this shloka and understood its meaning as well. But today we shall take it in a different meaning. What is this shloka I am talking about? This shloka is a very popular one, but today we shall look at it through a different lens. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. This is a shloka which we all know. The declaration of the purpose of an avatar is being told here by Krishna. How does this answer our question? Let us go part by part. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Krishna says that whenever dharma or righteousness is under attack, glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. Whenever dharma is under attack, I take an incarnation to safeguard dharma and destroy adharma. What is dharma and what is adharma? When a person is wise, when a person knows about the knowledge of the Gita, he will not go astray to the path of adharma. What is this knowledge I talk about? The knowledge of getting mental peace in action. It is the very nature of human to perform action. And when action is performed right, and when the human is also at peace, he can never go into the path of adharma. It is when there is a decline of knowledge that humans go to the path of adharma or do unrighteous act. Therefore, dharma glani here means when there is an obstacle for humans getting to gain the knowledge of how to perform the right type of action and how to be mentally peaceful. When a human is mentally not peaceful, here is where there is overwhelming of emotions and the negative thoughts getting accumulated in our mind, which, as I said, takes us to the path of adharma. How do we avoid this? Well, that is what we answered in the shloka, karmanyah karmayah pashed akarmanicha karmayah. But how do we take it as an example? Who do we take as an example? Here is where I have reinterpreted the meaning of the avatar. Krishna says that he descends to do dharma samsthapana. What is dharma samsthapana? As I said, when does dharma get an obstacle? When there is decline of knowledge. So, if Krishna wants to do dharma sthapana, he should give more knowledge. He should try to implement the knowledge into the minds of the human brain. What I am saying is that this is the very purpose of an avatar. This is what Krishna also says. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Paritranaya sadhunam, that is taking care of the righteous people. How? By giving us the knowledge continuously. The knowledge of karmanyah karmayah pashed akarmanicha karmayah is such a vast knowledge which will help us in our daily life that Krishna himself, the Parabrahman himself takes an avatar to showcase its credibility. In the Rama avatar, we know that the Lord himself has descended as Rama and shown us that yes, you can follow the path of dharma, that yes, you can take the knowledge of the Vedas and implement it in your daily life and still lead a happy and contented life. This is what the purpose of an avatar is, to reiterate the importance of the combination of the knowledge of karma and akarma, knowing that there is action in inaction and there is inaction in action as well, is the ultimate thought which is going to give us mental peace. This is why Krishna says that he takes an avatar to reiterate this knowledge, and by reiterating this knowledge, here is where the avatar's purpose comes to a fulfillment. Bhagavan comes down in the form of a human. In that sense, he is a doer. He lives amongst us and does all the necessary duties a human has to do. In that sense, he is a doer. But as Bhagavan, as God, we see in the Rama Avataram that he does not ever showcase that he is God. In that sense, as a God, Bhagavan is a non-doer. But as a human, he is a doer. So here is where that karmanyah karmayah pashed akarmanicha karmayah is practically implemented. It's practically showcased in how Bhagavan takes an avatar. Taking Bhagavan himself as an example, we can implement this siddhanta, we can implement this philosophy in our life and lead a happily, mentally peaceful, contented life. This is what I would like to share. The purpose of the avatar is not just paritranaya sadhunam or vinashaya cha dushkritam. Is Bhagavan comes down to reiterate this knowledge, to be amongst us and showcase how the lessons of the Vedas and the Upanishads, which he has very efficiently condensed into the Bhagavad Gita, can be followed in our everyday life and can be practically implemented as well. The avatars of Bhagavan itself are a testament to this statement. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha, Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.